beautiful people. I see you. Welcome back to Mondays with Mondene. This is where we dive deep into life, love, and liberty. Well, democracy too, and now more than ever, truth. I'm your host. You know who I am, E.D. Mondene, and tonight we're tackling the topic that is at the heart of our national and personal struggles: public persona versus the private heart. How did we arrive at a place where the presidency, a role meant to represent the values of democracy and unity, is held by someone who seems to champion division and hierarchy? And for those of us in marginalized community, this reality really feels like a continuation of the mistrust that we've always had in the status quo, a system that has rarely prioritized us. I want to explore the gap between public personas and private hearts, the societal expectations that fuel it, and the ripple effects it has on classrooms, boardrooms, and even our neighborhoods. The public persona. Is it a shield or a strategy? For many folks, a public persona is a shield, a way to avoid judgment while navigating societal pressures. This is particularly true in today's politically charged environment. There's enough research that has been done that shows in 2016, 2/3 of voters who kept their choices private voted Donald Trump. Why? Fear of backlash, professional consequences, or just social alienation. We know how to do that real good, ghosting. But here's where it gets deeper. Societal expectations vary greatly across communities. In privileged spaces, these pressures might focus on maintaining influence or adhering to social norms that protect power. However, in marginalized communities like ours, society and societal expectations often act as a double burden. We're told to assimilate into dominant norms while still preserving our cultural identity. Think about the pressure to code switch at work or the expectation to be a model minority in a predominantly white space. Dude, these dynamics create a constant tension, forcing us to balance authenticity with survival. Now, when people with privilege hide behind their public personas while supporting systems that harm us, it opens a mistrust and it deepens the mistrust that was already there. What is the private heart? A reflection of true beliefs that nobody else sees. And behind closed doors, the private heart reveals truths that public personas often conceal. Many Trump supporters privately justified their allegiance as a break from political correctness, a protest against the status quo, or a pragmatic economic choice. I hear you. But for the marginalized communities, this isn't just an abstract concept. It's personal. When those in positions of privilege silently endorse systems that oppress us, it reinforces the idea that we're not valued. This betrayal extends beyond politics. It seeps into our classrooms where our children are treated differently, into boardrooms where opportunities are consistently denied, and into our neighborhoods where trust is eroded amongst supposed allies. And let me tell you something. This isn't just about disagreement. It's about the harm caused when societal expectations allow silence or complicity to prevail over accountability. Societal expectations and mistrust. What is that all about? Let's unpack what societal expectations further, because this is key to understanding the divide. In privileged spaces, societal expectations often align with maintaining power. There's a push to conform to success-oriented norms like outward success or political alignment while avoiding controversy. Where in marginalized communities, societal expectations are more complicated. We're expected to uphold our cultural values while navigating a system that wasn't built for us or by us. We're told to work twice as hard to prove our worth in spaces where our humanity should be enough. Well, this double burden breeds frustration, and it takes us back to mistrust. When leaders who benefit from privilege fail to acknowledge these dynamics, or worse, perpetuate them, it sends a clear message. The system ain't for us. And let's be real. This mistrust has a ripple effect. It affects how we engage with teachers, bosses, neighbors, and even friends who are part of the privileged class. It reinforces the walls that divide us. What are the implications for democracy? Where does that go? Well, I tell you what, this divide between public personas and private hearts, it does damage. It threatens the foundation of democracy. It stifles honest dialogue and deepens polarization. But here's an opportunity. There's some good news here. By addressing societal expectations and fostering spaces for authenticity, we can begin to rebuild that trust. It can be done. For our communities, this means holding people accountable, not just for their public words, but for their private actions. It means challenging the systems that force us into impossible choices and working to create spaces where authenticity is celebrated, not punished. I thought about this, and there are 4 actionable directions that we could take, Where do we go from here? There are actionable steps, and I've come up with 4 that we can take to bridge the divide and address the harm caused by societal expectations. You ready? Write them down. They're going to be on your screen, but write them down anyway. We have to acknowledge the burden of expectations. Recognize that societal pressures weigh differently on marginalized communities. Advocate for policies and practices that reduce these burdens, whether it is in education, employment, or in community spaces. Next thing we've got to do, number 2, is foster honest conversations. Honest. Create spaces, 2 or 3, 4 people, where people can express their beliefs without fear or judgment. This includes addressing privilege openly and holding leaders accountable for their complicity in harmful systems. One more thing. Well, there's 2 more things. We have to empower marginalized voices, which means supporting and amplifying the voices of those who are most affected by inequity. This isn't about a performative allyship. It's about meaningful action that prioritizes equity over optics. And last but not least, we've got to engage in local action. National politics grab headlines, but local change is where we see the biggest impact. Again, advocate for inclusive policies in schools, workplaces, neighborhoods, and next door. We've got to dismantle systemic inequities and rebuild trust, and these are the ways that we're going to do it. Family, you, people, the unsettling force. The divide between public personas and private hearts isn't just a political issue, it's a human issue. It reflects the pressures that we face daily, the choices that we make, and the trust we build or break along the way. Now, for those of us in marginalized community, this journey is even more personal. But we have the power to demand better, not just from leaders, but baby, from each other. And to do this, we've got to embrace authenticity, accountability, and action. We can begin to heal the fractures fractures that have been caused that have caused harm in our democracy and in our communities. And nobody can do it like us. Wow. Thank you for joining me today on Mondays with Mondene. And let's keep this conversation going. And more importantly, let's act. That's all. Get up. Do it. And until next time, stay strong, stay hopeful, and stay united. I need to do special shouts out. You know I got to do that. Our sponsors are never happy until we mention their name. Post Shines, not just a restaurant, but a beloved institution right here in the Kenton District. Not just another place to eat, but the place to eat. Visit them at 8139 North Denver for the best soul food this side of the Willamette. And, of course, there's Aunties and Tonties Daycare Services, a trusted space for our community's little ones. Adorn Electric, hey, they light up our lives and they're lighting up this set and supporting this podcast. And I'm grateful for their partnership. Visit us here at Celebration Tabernacle on Sunday mornings right here in Portland. I want to do a special thank you to our production team, Deion, Robin, Andy, and Paul. Not one of them is bigger than the other, and they all stand what tall. Let's keep the conversation going. Share this episode and follow us on Facebook right behind me and on YouTube. You know the deal. And help us spread the message far and wide. Remember, democracy is in your hands. We the people have to shout it out. Shout it out, and it'll be heard. You know, I talk a lot about knowing where you came from to know where you're going. Well, I came from the projects of St. Louis, Missouri, and I ended up into the majestic mountaintops of Portland, Oregon. It's been a wonderful journey, and Lewis and Clark took that journey from St. Louis to Portland, and I took it too. It talks about who I am, and as I'm with you often in cyberspace or on websites or on the, what do you call it, social media, I want you to know a little bit about me and who I am. This book talks about my fantasies, my failures, my triumphs, and more than that, it talks about the resiliency of being able to continue to go forward regardless of the odds. I'd get a copy. It's called From Maladies to Melodies. And I hope that you enjoy it and give me some feedback. God bless.
Hey, it's time for you to come to Post Shine. Check out that catfish sandwich. Oh my goodness, is that the shrimp po' boy? Man, look at that chocolate chip cake. Man, I need to get over to Post Shines at 8139 North Denver right now because this food looks delicious. Or call if you'd like, 503-978-9000. And don't miss it, you'll be sorry.
In times gone past, we find ourselves making excuses so that people reminded, ooh, I've got to get home and tend to the brand new missus. I need some time alone. Can't this wait until I finish texting on my phone?